Today we're going to get a 1-month update on the ReefBot. What is going on, guys? Devin from ReefDudes. Now, I have been getting asked almost daily for updates on the ReefBot. How's it going? How am I liking it? Normally I'd wait a couple months before I do an update, but because I've been getting so many questions, here one is. So let's get a bit of a kind of a test and check it out, see how things are going. I've been running it for a little over a month now. Now I'm only testing weekly, so every Friday I have to do all my tests at like 4 or 5 in the morning. That when I wake up, I have all my results on my phone. So speaking of, alright, so now we have the Reef Kinetics app open. This is kind of your main portal, can control it. Even if you don't have a ReefBot, you can still use it to log your test results if you want. And now we can see all my results from last Friday. So phosphates is 0.16, magnesium 1400, and nitrates 5 ppm. If you click on one of the tests, it will bring you into it, and it will show you all the different little color steps it went through to get that kind of reading or where it's at. So you can kind of do your own little visual comparison. If you look at the history, you can see your last few tests. Let's go to phosphates, for instance. So there's a little chart it shows on there. I'm not sure if we can change the scale of it or not. It might just be what it is. It could be in the settings. So at the top, you can see 0.16, there's a color. If we go down, you can see all the different steps or resolution chunks it takes. And again, if you go to the history, I can scroll down and see all my different tests. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tests is done so far. So 5 weeks in use. So overall, that is pretty darn easy. If we go to manage or no bots, you can see how much of your reagents is left in each one of the tubes. So 18, 19, 20. Now with me, I'm only testing once a week, so these reagent bottles are going to last a long time. One thing to note is if you are testing daily, you might go through a little bit quicker. And that was one complaint I saw from a few different people. If you're using something like alkalinity and you're testing every day, you're going to fill the bottles a little more often. Now I did follow up with the Reef Kinetics on this, and they are actually working on a larger bottle. So the current bottle is 20 mil, and they have a 40 mil coming out soon. It's going to be double the size, going to last twice as long, and I was going to, fix one of the major complaints I've seen out there. So that is awesome, and I appreciate seeing that. Okay, so 2 other things to note. On the top, it does use a bit of RODI water for all the testing, so every couple of weeks I refill this. So when I move and set up on the new tank, I will use a bigger container. So this is a 1.5 liters. I'd probably go for the bigger 3 ones, or just use a second one of these 1 gallon spaced every containers. So that'll make it last quite a while. For this, I have my Alcatronic and the ReefBot both sharing this. And same thing, I enter this every couple of weeks. We look inside, see all our little vials inside. The little needle goes in and pokes in, takes your test. Now these bottles, you can see, there's been hardly any used out of this one. And that's after about 4 or 5 tests now. Same with going through some of the other ones. So they do last quite a while. But this is, again, testing once a week. So if you're going to be one of those guys that want to test daily, then, once they come out with that 40 ml bottle, that's going to save a huge headache for a lot of people, for you daily testers. Now, for most things, I honestly don't really see the purpose in testing daily, just a waste of reagent. Alkalinity is the only one I probably would. The rest, personally, I feel that weekly is enough. But each your own on that one. So far, I've actually been really happy with the ReefBot. It's been doing its thing. I've had 0 issues. The only one little caveat kind of note is the vials hold 20 mils. Now, with the nitrate kit that I ordered, the Tropic Marin or the Fauna Marin, either one of those will work. The Part C is a small bottle, and you actually need 2 of them for your very first fill. So I got it all set up. I had my magnesium and my phosphate test right away. My nitrate test, I had to wait and order another one. If you're in Canada, Sustainable Marine Canada, check those guys out because they're going to carry all the ReefBot testing kits. So I got them to bring that one in for me, and ever since, it's been good to go. It's been golden. So it's been about 5 weeks now, about 5 different tests it's been doing of the 3 parameters on every Friday. It does take a little bit of time per test, if it's 30 or 45 minutes, whatever it is. So I do have it scheduled to do it at 4 or 5 in the morning on Friday, and that way when I wake up, get out of bed, got all my test results. So it's a good way to do it. Now, if you were testing something using for alkalinity and testing daily, you would burn through those little 20 mils bottles pretty quick. So thankfully, Reef Kinetics addressed this. I kind of talked to them and said, this is the biggest thing that I've seen people complain about was just the duration of the bottle. So they're coming out with a 40 mil bottle soon. So double the size, you're going to be twice as long between refills. If you're like me and you don't want to waste a bunch of money on reagents and you think it's ridiculous to test 4 or 5 times a day, we'll set it up, you test once a week, and they're going to last you months and months and months between refills anyway, so it's not really an issue. but maybe I'll get some eventually and I can just go ages and not worry about it. So either way, pretty sweet way to go. So I do like that you can use any test kit you want, and you can do any test frequency you want. You can do it on demand, or you can schedule it, but weekly is a pretty good compromise for me. I might even, tone down some of my nitrates phosphates. Maybe I'll do every second week, stretch it out even further. So far, my results are fairly consistent. It's just a small change over a week. So even that, I might be able to stretch it out. So it's a little, I think it's $8.50 up front for it with the coupon code RKReefDudes, get you $50 off. And then with your reagents, it all really depends on how often you test. But if you can test once a month, you can test once a day, you can pick whatever frequency you want, which I think is super duper cool. When I move my tank upstairs for the new water box 6-foot Peninsula build, I'm going to pump the drain line directly to, or the waste directly to the drain, so I don't have a container empty. So I'm going to do that for the Algotronic and the ReefBot, which is going to be sweet. And then for the water source feed for it. So it does use a bit of RODI. I do have a 1.5 liter max spec Aquamax container on it right now. So I do fill that one, every week or two. I just top it off when I fill up my auto top off container. If I was to do that again, I'd probably just use a bigger container. I'd likely use one of the 1 gallon space saver so that I can go longer and longer without having to refill it, or just tap it directly into your auto top off bin, which is going to be the nicest solution. So hopefully I answered most of your questions. I have had so many questions over the last month on this thing, like almost daily, every other day minimum, sometimes twice a day, from different people asking for an update. How do I like it? So hopefully I answered all your questions. So far, loving it. There's been 0 issues since I set it up. It does its thing every Friday morning, and I get my whole slew of results. If any of my test kits or RODI waste container is getting full or low, it will send you an alert. So that's really cool to do. You can tell it when you've emptied it how big the container is, and it calculates the consumption or how much it's putting into it. So super cool. If you guys do want to pick one up, you can use reefkinetics.com, code RKReefDudes, get $50 off. Otherwise, any other questions, let me know. I'm super excited for this whole build upstairs. It's coming soon, so I'm slowly trying to prep and planning out everything in my mind. And yeah, automated testing, automated water changes. I'm gonna be such a lazy reefer, it's gonna be amazing. So all right guys, so any questions, let me know, and I will see you guys on the next video.